a thrilling win where they came from behind and were able to take out the win, scoring the game winner with just about 2 minutes left in the win at Mount St. Mary's on Saturday. Underway here from Kessler. Monmouth looking to avenge that overtime loss last season.
Pass Cardillo. Good offensive possession there for the Hawks. And Kesselring's really been a kid who has expanded his game this year. Last year, we saw him work a lot from X. Even though he was in the midfield a lot, they love to invert him and use him from behind. It's a perfect shot. No chance for Cardillo, and an excellent start offensively for the Hawks.
Ketchen has had success against this NJIT side. Last 3 times they've met, he's scored at least once in all of those matchups. And Monmouth with another face-off win. That's going to be key against this great Fogo and Issac Vanzeren for the Highlanders.
You feel like when you start 0-3, that confidence can dwindle quickly, and give credit to the Hawks. They've responded with 2 straight wins and off to a great start here, looking for number 3.
And Coach Fisher talked about this team on offense has really come a long way since their first couple of games, and we've seen that today. Huge
physicality to create a little seam, and that time just beats Cardillo over the top of the shoulder. Seems like Monmouth can do no wrong offensively right now.
And Fisher said the last couple of games, a lot more of their possessions really had meaning and value at the end of them, and that is a perfect example right there.
Exactly, and it's got to be frustrating for NJIT. Perfect start for Monmouth in this one. Dominating possessions, executing from a shooting perspective, and not giving NJIT any looks in transition on the other end of the field.
And Coach Fisher is really hoping that Dundas can really take those next steps in his game. And
on that occasion, he just shedded off one defender, had 2 more coming at him, and still found the back of the net.
That's a guy, Coach Fisher said, he really is just passionate about the sport. He loves to play, he loves to compete, and he loves to shoot. We could see it right there.
Oh, what a check.
Absolutely.
In Monmouth's transition game, and then it becomes offense on the other end. Turnovers leading to touchdowns, and that time Iceline did a nice job of recognizing the opening and was able to sneak it through the legs of Tommy Heller, who couldn't catch up to it. Nice jolt from the freshman here to get NJIT going.
NJIT, its second man-up goal of the season, and they win the face-off. Just under a minute to go here in the first quarter. And the tie, Jackson just starting to shift a little bit if NJIT
he was able to sneak it near post past Cardillo, but this is a kid who is so quick on his feet. He tends to always have the extra step on his defender. If he could just take one more step sometimes, and we saw him do it in the first quarter, I think there's 5 or 6 more goals at least a year for him with his ability to kind of create from behind the cage. We know what he can do as a feeder. When he is a pass-first guy, that is when he truly is at his best. But I think both guys will want that back. That's not what Heller usually gives up. But nonetheless, because Cesaria jumped, he was able to create at least 1 more yard of an angle and some space to get the shot off, and it was just enough to beat Heller. You see it with Gorman. Just waited for Cole, just a quick ghost slip right past his defender. He was able to create some space, and then a beautiful inside roll past his defender on a short stick for the finish. Really encouraging sign for Monmouth to get him going, because he's been really quiet from a long stick, even if it's from 15 yards away.
Depona, a great story. He actually started his college career at Incarnate Word playing football, and they are an FCS powerhouse. Transfers over to New Jersey, now playing D1 lacrosse at NJIT.
It's an unbelievable athlete, to say the least.
He can score a little bit too.
Yeah. Definitely added that to his repertoire.
NJIT cuts the deficit back down to 4, still plenty of time.
Puts his shoulder down, runs through a defender, and then with some nasty high cheese pass, Cardillo, who just had no shot at that one.
The captain has had a couple of outstanding games recently. Continuing today, a couple goals here in the first half, and the star of a goal there. Highlanders win it off the face from Colgate and the senior and Ethan Cronk. They really complement each other nicely.
It's interesting to see how both these wings line up because both teams look like they're giving their guy a chance to go forward with it quickly, because if you're going to go forward, you're going to go left with it. And both guys are lined up back on the right side, but now we got a rock fight.
A real battle from the Faceoff X, still up for grabs, or down for grabs.
They took 11 seconds off the man up to capitalize, and when you have those 30-second man advantages, it changes the way you approach it. When you have 1 minute, you want to work it around, usually be patient before you really get into your action.
Missed almost all of last season with a broken bone, but he's back now, and he is thriving. And Coach Fisher, he talked about, now that they have Connor Gorman, Caffarelli, and Brendan Dundas all together, this is really the first time, starting in the preseason.
That's where Dundas is really good. Late shot clock situations. Just really great understanding of time and score, knowing where to be. When you have a 5-on-4 situation like that, you want to go right down the middle to the cage if you're the trailer without the ball. And that opened up the space for Bowen Slot, who just went right down Main Street.
Bowen Slot said, I want in on some of this goal-scoring action. It's been a real balanced effort.
Made life so difficult for NJIT to create anything on the offensive end of the field, and it's helped that Monmouth's been able to win faceoffs. They're now even at the faceoff X, and even though with this being a 5-on-5 one, they've done a really nice job of creating a scrum and not allowing NJIT to get anything going in transition.
Right before we went to break, it was a slashing call on Austin Hahn for NJIT.
I've been totally outmatched in terms of quickness, in terms of hands, but sometimes all you can do is just try to create a scrap. And nice to see Keene contributing.
Second and third goals of the season for the sophomore and transfer from High Point. Monmouth on a 6-0 run dating back to the start of the third quarter. Ball still loose on the turf. Both teams battling for it. Love to see the fight, even given the conditions and the score. Both on offense and defense, as we've talked about. The offense is taking a little shine away from the defense, but this is really, what Coach Fisher wants to see, and really a building block for this program as we head into conference play, like we mentioned. First year in the CAA.
Spanning just about 26 minutes in the second half, and you could call it a 9-0 run if you include the goal with no time on the clock from Gorman to end that first half. It's been quite an impressive effort from the Hawks.